Are you a dairy producer? Or do you grow grapes, nuts, fruits, or vegetables? We have it all with American Vineyard, Pacific Nut Producer, California Fresh Fruit, California Dairy, and Vegetable West magazines. Subscribe for free now at malcolmmedia.com to stay current on the freshest news in your industry.
Hello, I'm Matthew Malcolm with California Fresh Fruit Magazine, and I'm here today with Neil McRoberts from UC Davis, who addressed growers today at the HLB Early Detection Technology Summit. And he emphasized the importance of being proactive and uniting against the spread of this pest and disease, and here's a bit of advice he had to offer.
We need to separate some clear daylight between regulatory situations and you guys who want to be proactive and get out there and look for the disease in commercial production. That's not a regulatory issue, or at least it doesn't need to be a regulatory issue.
The key thing about controlling HLB is people, not the bug, not the bacterium, but you guys, what you do, the decisions you make. I guess we know the basics of what a good control program is going to look like, so we have to keep the quarantine strong. If the disease arrives in an area, you have to get ready for area-wide management, for the Psyllid management areas. I'd encourage any of you who hasn't thought about joining a Psyllid management area, find out who the organisers are in your area, get signed up. If your neighbours seem like they're not too enthusiastic, get them signed up. This is a disease that you're not going to fight this thing on your own. You need to join together and make sure that you're doing what you can to cooperate with each other. I know it looks like a lot of the things that are happening, what you might be asking, why are you doing them, right? You know, why have we got quarantines? Why are we thinking about spraying trees when there's no disease there? And the answer for that is quite simple. You don't fight this disease after it's there. You have to start fighting it before you can see it. And the experience from Florida, the experience from Texas now will tell you that. You just have to look at what's happened there. If you wait till you can see this thing, you've missed the boat. You're too late. So you have to get out ahead of it. You're going to see a delay between when the disease turns up and when your trees start to look bad, when the fruit starts to drop off. And again, it's going to look like you're doing things for no point, but you have to get past that. You know, you have to accept that there's some payment to be made up front to get the benefits in the long term. And the long-term benefits, if you do the stuff right in the beginning, are way bigger than the cost up front to try and keep on top of the disease. Mike Irie, who's living with this thing in Florida, that's the main point he made, and it's a point well worth taking from their experience. And the way that the yield decline has happened in Florida is going to be worse when it starts here, because the Florida industry are producing fruit for juice, and as Mike said, they can blend their way out of trouble, but you guys aren't going to be able to do that here because you're in the fresh fruit market. And so every fruit that falls off the tree, every misshapen fruit, every bitter fruit, every sour fruit, those are all things you're not going to be able to sell, and you're not going to be able to blend your way out of trouble like they do in Florida to a certain extent. So cooperation, getting ahead of the problem, accepting the fact that basically you're in a kind of insurance situation here. If you lived in an earthquake zone, you'd take out earthquake insurance. If you live in a flood zone, you take out flood insurance. So paying the money up front now to try and help the disease spreading, it's a bit like taking out HLB insurance basically. So pay a premium to hopefully get a bigger benefit in the long term. I know this is a cliche, but really the take-home message from me anyway is, apart from cooperate with each other, doing nothing's not an option unless you're resigned to the fact that you're not going to be growing citrus at the end of your current generation. If you want there to be another generation of citrus growers in California, then you've got to get on board and start taking action today.
Learn how you can prevent the spread of the Asian citrus psyllid in Huanglongbing by reading California Fresh Fruit Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.